Okay. So, back in '08, I asked you what you thought about JBL coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
And I told you I didn't get it because it just felt, it kind of felt unnatural in a way. Like, you weren't the greatest on commentary as far as a wrestler goes.
Michael.
Like I swear, every time, like, there's a pay-per-view, it's like, well, here's what's going on, Michael. Let me tell you something, Michael. Like,
they're going to destroy each other like Korb would.
Like, what? And I asked you, what pushed them, but you didn't have the right answer, right?
I mean, I took it as maybe it was Creative's thing of, like, we're going to have you on commentary, but from time to time we might take you out and, have you be in a feud.
Okay, but, like, feud-wise, was it right to put him with Jericho? It felt lackluster, right?
I don't remember anything memorable, so yeah.
Because, okay, all it was is that at Armageddon, Jericho was going up against whoever was champion back then, I think.
Yeah.
Randy? No, for an opportunity.
For an opportunity, okay.
But then I guess he got thrown into JBL's way.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, oh, here's your chance to come out of retirement.
And Jericho had just come back at the time.
Yeah.
Second coming.
But, like, it just, maybe it was everything for JBL, but nothing for Jericho.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you get nothing memorable out of it. I only remember that it was just Royal Rumble and then we're done.
Yeah.
And then what? He tried to face off against Randy. He had his feud with Shawn.
Which is the standout.
Yeah. And it's always a standout because you still get that impression that maybe Jericho still harbors that I wanted to be like you.
Shawn Michaels.
I wanted to be the next Shawn Michaels type thing, which reminds me back to '03 with one of their classic WrestleMania matches. And it's just like, Jericho always had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jericho always had it to a point where he could main event with anybody. Like, if you take it back even to, like, what, 01? 02?
2000 when he won, well, he won against Triple H, but then it never, ever happened.
Okay.
Did you see the crowd explode? Because that was a pop. That was a pop.
That was a pop, but also, like, the biggest, like, shovel burial. I think that's what established Triple H having the shovel. Because, come on, like, how pissed was he? Like, I'm not going to lose to you tonight. Not like this. And it's like, what?
I remember Jericho even brought this up. He's like, if you go look at one of the very early prototypes of the WrestleMania 2000 poster, Jericho was on there, and he was circled in to be main eventing that. But then I guess they felt like, you know what, maybe you're not ready. Oh, we'll pull you out. Because keep in mind, I think that WCW hostility was still kind of there. Like, oh, well, you're not really one of us, right? You're still from the neighborhood across the street. But it's like Jericho. Like, even I remember when him and The Rock were like butting heads during the Alliance invasion thing. The Rock was like, how does The Rock know that you are WWF, that you're not WCW, that you will not defect to the Alliance? And Jericho's like, I came out of WCW and I don't want to go back. So I feel like that dynamic was always there. Like, are you really with us, or is there something else here?
Okay, if you were to reverse time and, like, have the ability to book WrestleMania 2000, which is still considered amongst many critics and fans as one of the worst WrestleManias.
Well, it beat WrestleMania 9. That's
everything beats WrestleMania 9. Everything. Ugh.
If for whatever reason you want to catch this horrendous pay-per-view, you can do it only on the WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of only $9.99.
$9.99.
It's not $10.
It's not $1,000, and it's not $1 million.
But
$9.99.
Seriously, don't watch it.
Please don't. You just watch highlights. There's one match I did like.
First match?
The Shawn Michaels match.
It was good.
It wasn't great.
Yeah,
But that was when Shawn was still developing into Mr. WrestleMania.
I
needed that.
I wanted a decisive conclusion though.
Oh, me too.
It was a great match. And I'm like, really?
But anyways,
But Hogan was champion, so woohoo!
talking about shovels. But okay, if you could go
Who has a
back in
bigger one?
time, you want to answer? You want to play that game real quick?
Okay, Hogan, Cena, Triple H.
Oh,
Who has?
It doesn't matter if it's those three. Personally, to me, Hogan will always have the biggest shovel.
Really?
Okay. John. Well, are we counting titles?
We're counting
Like everything. Okay,
Everything
then
considered.
John.
How do you make that assessment?
Okay. If you're including titles, 2 out of the 3 are Triple Crown, but I think John tops them all because no matter how many pay-per-views Triple H has headlined, John's number of pay-per-views is higher.
Do you think that it's maybe their tenure that determines that for you?
What do you mean?
Because John has the longest active tenure, as like he's wrestling actively. Hogan, he was in WWF, but then he went to WCW. So if you were a WWE fan, you kind of got a break from him. But John was there, and he was there, and he was there, and he was there.
Okay, but was was Hogan shoved down your throat as much as John? Because if you think about it, he was only shoved down your throat back in the day. If you were a fan of his to follow him to his early 90s WCW wrestling career before the NWO. That's the only way Hogan is shoved into people's life. John, on the other hand, the prototype was okay. The Doctor of Thugonomics was amazing. And then you get Mr. The Time Is Now. Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect. And I think it only would have worked if he had turned heel sometime from when we were starting to get like, okay, really? Like, John Cena again? John Cena's the champion again? He beat this person again? He beat this person again? Like, it got so annoying to the point that you can understand why fans were like, you should have given Christian a push. You definitely should have given Shawn the belt at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's a crime. That was always one of the biggest crimes to me. That Shawn retires in 2010, but his last run was in 2002.
Like from 2002 to 10, like 8 years, and you couldn't give him another belt. But you couldn't give Shawn another belt. John had to bury him. And then couldn't give Bobby Lashley a run, even though, I have respect for Bobby Lashley. He gave it to his friend, to Randy Orton. That's the one person that he's like, all right, I can lose to Randy. I can get kicked in the head for Randy. And to me, that's like, really? You buried everyone behind you but him. He's your guy that you had to push. Like, really? That's where I think the shovel is like... Because, okay, back to Triple H. What's the one thing that never, ever happened?
Austin, The Rock, and Triple H.
All at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And another thing that never happened. He never lost to Jericho on Monday Night Raw. Even though we all saw it. Even though the crowd was angry. But nothing compares to John Cena's shovel.
Does it? Because I want you to consider this.
Okay.
Triple H not only politicked for titles, but he politicked where his match would go on the card. He surpassed The Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18 and jumped to the main event. He jumped at WrestleMania 25 with him and Randy, but even he realized, oh shit, I made a mistake. Because you couldn't top The Undertaker and Shawn. Now, I will say this. To some extent, I feel like all three candidates started giving back at some point.
When did Hogan start giving back?
That is where the hard one is, because Hogan kind of walked away and went to TNA, and then when he came back, he wasn't a wrestler. So, but do you think that if as soon as tomorrow, if Hogan came back, that he would put people over? John Cena has. Triple H has.
I don't think Hogan would. I don't think... Who would he put over? Who can he put over? Everyone would think every young guy that goes up against the immortal Hulk Hogan isn't worthy to face him now. Or they would think it's a squash match. If it was now. If you had 1996 Hulk Hogan,
Okay.
before he did what, God bless him, was needed, I think that Hulk Hogan, if he had realized everything from 96 to today, what his career has been, he would have started putting people over. I think that's
Really? You think so?
I think that's what it would be. But Hulk Hogan today, no. He wouldn't put people over.
Because I will say this. If we can jump into personal feelings and all, I know that Hogan over the last few years has tried to make amends with everyone that he burned a bridge with.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Warrior, Savage, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. It seems like whoever he had heat with, he's talked with, and you know they essentially
He's
kissed
fixed,
and made up.
yeah.
Yes. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's very, very tough. It's like you want to choose one over the other, but you're like, how do I know that this other person wouldn't out-bury the other one?
Take all three of them in their prime. Put them in a triple threat match. In their prime, with the biggest momentum of the shovel in their hand.
Who would win?
Like how angry backstage would Vince be just hearing the three of them in a room argue with each other like, no, I should win. No, I should win. No, I should win. And Vince is just there like, what have I done?
It's very simple. Triple DQ.
Someone has to decisively win. I think the only way it could work, Vince McMahon comes in himself for the referee, buries all three of them by winning.
Oh, that's funny.
And I think if that moment in life were to exist, if it were to exist, you know what it would erase? Certain moments in history that people are like, you should have never let that happen.
While we're speaking of triple threats, I thought of this the other day. Do you realize that in the era of the 80s and the 90s, and maybe early millennium, we didn't get the top 3 stars of each era facing off in one match? Think about this. We never got Hogan versus Warrior versus Savage in a triple threat.
I would have loved to see that.
We were so close to getting Triple H, The Rock, and Austin, and we didn't get it.
I would have loved to see that.
And I don't know, I don't think this has happened, but John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista of the 05 era. Essentially your top 3 dudes facing off. It seems like the 3 essential players of each era have never gotten a chance to
Like
be
they
in one
faced
match.
off each other.
Yeah, but not all
in
3 at the same
separate
time.
or different feuds, but never like all 3 ways met up, and it's like, who's the better?
Mm.
But even then, you still get the 3 that stand out of those 9. Hogan, Triple H, and John. Because look, okay, if you're gonna play devil's advocate, you really have to like play devil's advocate. Who would you have win Hogan versus Savage versus Warrior? Out of that classic traditional style of wrestling, because you have a leg drop,
An elbow drop,
and a gorilla press slam,
splash.
and plus the splash.
Honestly, like, me really mapping it out in my head and trying to do it in a way where everyone walks away satisfied, I think Savage would have to win that match.
And I think it would make sense if Savage wins.
Because I feel like if Hogan wins, Warrior would be like, and then if Warrior wins, Hogan would be like, I put you over at WrestleMania 6. I ain't doing it again. But if Savage, oh, yeah, go for it, Randy. Yeah, cool. We're good.
Who would he pin? That who has to lay down? That's what makes and we're gonna go over with the next two.
If I'm booking, I would do it on Hogan.
You would play that politic game in the back.
I told you.
You're gonna tell. You would tell the immortal.
What
Hulk
year are we
Hogan.
doing this?
What's the best year in their prime? Okay, when they were all essentially good in the 90s. Oh, after WrestleMania 7.
That was Savage
91.
and Warrior.
Yeah, let's make WrestleMania 7 instead of Savage and Warrior. Savage, Warrior, and Hogan.
Okay, then I would have Macho Man win that. Because, again, I pay attention to this. WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior got his win.
I mean, granted, that match was, like, long.
But he did it.
Oh, no.
After 3.1111 seconds, he kicked out. Yeah, but, I mean, he still did it. Well, okay, hear me out. So Warrior gets his definitive win. Like, everyone, you remember that match all the time.
Oh, yeah, no. WrestleMania 6 will always stand out as, like, Warrior beat Hogan.
And then
even though Hogan, after 3.1, he kicks and, like, lay down, man.
Do you see the part where he looks up to God? He's like,
I feel like you're going to set me up for something in the future during the summer where you're going to say who sells or oversells the worst.
Shawn Michaels.
Between those two, yes, Shawn Michaels will always be the one, like, really? When he threw you to the turnbuckle, you had to do your super...
The big boot.
Oh my God, I will never get over that match. Okay.
Well, hear me out. So, Warrior gets his definitive win.
In 90.
Yeah. Hogan got his win over Savage for the title.
Okay.
Mega Powers Explode.
And 4, I think, right? Yeah, I think that was 4 or 5. One of those. 5.
5, because 4 was the tournament.
Yeah, okay.
No,
it was. 4 was the tournament. Either way, it's one of those two.
Yes, 4 was the tournament. Yes, we're right.
All right, so 5, Hogan got his win over Savage. 6, Warrior gets his win over Hogan. 7, it has to be Randy over Hogan.
Hogan would do it. He should.
Okay. All right, fine. I'll give you that one. Let's jump into the Attitude Era. The one we always wanted, and it should have happened.
It should have been me.
Austin, Hogan, Austin, Hunter, The Rock.
The Rock. Survivor Series 1999.
So Austin never gets run over.
No. If we're fantasy booking. Yeah.
So Austin, we never go with the angle that Austin needed. Austin's
surgery.
neck was fine.
Yeah.
He never needed to be taken out that way.
But honestly, I got your winner picked out for you already.
Oh, this I have to hear.
The Rock.
Whoa! You wouldn't even put Austin over?
No, because if you think about it, to my recollection, The Rock, there was that one time at Backlash, but that was just gimmick. But The Rock never really got a win over Triple H, and he only got one win over Austin at WrestleMania 19. The Rock was always kind of like, he's good, but
he's not next level.
He was kind of Savage, where it's like, great guy, top guy, but
are you the guy?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
You're the
Just
guy
like the
that would
last
lose to
one.
the guy, basically.
So it's just like the last one.
Exactly.
This is your moment to become the guy.
Yep.
All right. You know what? I think. Okay, who does he pin? Triple H or Austin?
Triple H.
Because if you're
gotta do
doing
Triple H.
history, it can't be Austin because it still has to be Austin Rock. Austin gets 2-0.
Right, and then we go to WrestleMania 19, where
So it has to be The Rock pinning Triple H.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point Triple H would have to lay down.
Yep.
All right. Let's book this match for WrestleMania. What was it? 06, 22?
Yeah.
Okay, WrestleMania 22. John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista. They're all essentially in their not even in their prime. But like they're all like
Established.
even without were they all champion at one point?
Yeah.
Would it be WWE Championship or World Heavyweight Championship? Because in the last two eras, it was only one
Right, there
heavyweight
was only
championship.
one.
If it's to true WWE fashion, it has to be the WWE Championship.
So Batista and Orton had won the World Heavyweight.
John hadn't.
John had it.
John
Yet.
only had the WWE Championship.
Yep. And Randy
Randy had already won the World Heavyweight Championship.
but not WWE.
no.
Yeah, not that. Yeah.
All right, who wins? Because I already agree that it had to be Savage to win. I can agree that it's The Rock. In 06, it's kind of hard to determine between those three.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's like you already have had the year where Batista has established himself as the animal.
05.
Like, literally, the man who walks alone.
Who Triple H put over, by the way.
Yeah, 3 times.
Shit, 3 times.
Well, WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell.
Backlash and Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, those 3 times, it's like. And then you needed to beat him at 35. Yeah, it makes sense now.
I agree with that one. I gotta give.
but that
Triple H
had to
the-
happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Never.
I think that's what Batista wanted.
I think that's what they both wanted.
Yeah.
They knew, like, if you got one more match, then
It
who
had to
else?
be that.
Yeah, who else are you gonna put him against?
Okay, so that's how you have Batista. Like, that's where he was headed.
That's where he was.
Randy is already in the momentum that, hey, I'm the youngest champion. I'm already the legend killer.
Not a Viper yet.
No.
Not Apex Predator yet.
But I'm still the elite. I'm still the evolution of.
Easy with that word.
I'm still the evolution of
This business?
of this business.
Yeah.
And then you have the do-gooder, the Boy Scout, Mr. Oh God. At that point, he had technically lost his belt to Edge.
Yep.
So that was the okay. So it would have to be the World Heavyweight Championship. So to me, who gets over? Because at that point, you already know that John Cena comes out, everyone's booing and like cheering at the same time, like he usually got at that time. Randy would get the biggest heel boos of all.
Yeah, because he's heel at this point.
Yeah, like full blown
Yeah.
heel. And then
Batista
of course
was still a good guy. So
you get the pop. Okay, so who goes over?
Randy.
Why Randy?
If we're paying attention to W's and L's, Randy needs to get this one. And I felt like that would have been a great transition of, like, I just beat two of the top guys right now in this era. And then that way he would have slowly gone to Apex Predator, just embracing that new character of,
But
like,
would he at that point have established himself not only as the legend killer but the legend
yeah,
of that era?
of that era.
Who does he pin? I think, in all fairness, I don't think I've seen it.
Batista.
Yeah, it has to be.
You know
Batista.
why? Because when you told me when Batista comes out, he gets the biggest pop. How do you get the biggest heel on someone?
By pinning the
superhero.
face.
Yep. Because if he beats John, it's gonna be like
Everyone's happy that you beat him, but it doesn't settle well because you still didn't beat Batista.
yeah. It's like, yeah, John lost, Randy won, but
John lost, and everyone's happy that John lost, but John loses, but Batista loses even more. And at that point, everyone's like, no. It had to be,
me.
yeah. It had to be Batista, but
Wait,
no.
Dolph wasn't around at this time.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw in one more.
Another triple threat?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
To this timeline, to right now. And I'm going to do it with the three that have always been a team, but we never got to see them all compete against each other.
Oh. Go ahead.
Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose
We got that.
versus Seth.
We got that.
When?
Battleground 2016.
Nah, that doesn't count to me. It was okay. It wasn't. It could have been better. All right, what's the triple threat you thought I was thinking?
I thought you would go with Kofi, Xavier, and Big E.
No, that doesn't. They're all together though. They're all happy. We wanted them to separate, but now they all have belts. It's the separation is not gonna. You can't separate tag champions unless you make them lose it, but you have to make them lose it drastically. All right, here. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, and need one more guy.
AJ Styles.
Okay, fine. Are they considered right now the top three? Or would you replace...
I would replace
one of them.
I would replace one of them.
Who would you replace?
Bless you, Drew. I love you.
Well, not
and
yet.
I'm pushing for you, but you're not there yet. You can be, but you're not. I would put Roman, AJ, and Daniel.
Actually, no. I want to change the whole thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Daniel, Cesaro, and Seth.
You know my answer.
I know it's Cesaro, but you still have your boys. You still have Sako.
Cesaro.
We all know he's deserving. The man can work. Who does he pin, though?
What's the match?
It's a triple threat.
No, Cesaro,
Seth, Daniel.
Seth.
Why not Daniel?
You have to... This is going to sound so bad. You have to make it definitive, and because Seth has been your recent champion, like dominant champion, if you want Cesaro to get him from here to here, you gotta like make him pin the top dog. Daniel Bryan was champion, but then he fell into the tag team thing, and now
He fell there because of bad booking lately.
Yeah.
He's a victim of circumstance.
Well, half the roster is.
More like 2/3. Okay, fine. Cesaro would be over Seth.
Yes.
You'd be okay with that.
Yes.
But you've been advocating for Cesaro for years now.
Yeah.
World heavyweight? No. It doesn't even exist. Universal or WWE?
No, screw Universal. WWE, World Heavyweight, definitely, for sure. Yeah.
So you feel like the Universal title's now a trash belt? Be real. How do you feel? What's your... Okay. You know what? I'm going to pull up the roster of who's held that belt.
I know already.
Well, I need it because I know who it is, but I always like seeing it. Which, by the way, you can catch all these Universal champions on the WWE Network.
And their wins only on the WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of only $9.99.
Okay.
Finn
Balor.
Kevin, Brock, no, Goldberg, Brock, Roman, Brock, Seth, Brock, I think.
Why isn't it giving me a definitive list? Oh, here we go.
Is that it? Yeah.
Okay. So it's only been Finn, Kevin, Goldberg, Brock, Roman, and Seth.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
These are all guys that, yeah, they've been champion.
Some on more than one occasion, or two.
Seeing Finn and Kevin on this list doesn't give it much prestige.
Well,
In this regard, don't get me wrong. Kevin and Finn are great athletes. They're great superstars. To me, they still have a little bit more to gain out of a different championship, out of the WWE championship. That's just to me.
I think maybe this Universal Championship has been a victim of circumstance, because if you think about it, it was off to a great start. I don't think anybody's going to complain. Finn won. He had just come up from NXT. He got a win over Roman Reigns, out of all people. And it's like, and keep in mind, I was cheering for Seth in that match, and Finn got it. So I'm like, all right, cool. He literally gives it up the next night. Kevin Owens becomes your champion, and this is what I wanted to actually ask you as well. Kevin Owens was doing pretty good. He was in that Jericho friendship, gonna turn into enemy feud. But then Jericho was right, and I even disagreed with this when we were talking about it quite some time back. You didn't need the championship in Brock versus Goldberg, because it was never about championships. It was about, can Brock Lesnar defeat the one guy that's caused them to lose every single match that he's been in with the guy. And Jericho is right. He's like, I don't know if you've heard this, but Jericho was like, that's what kind of caused me to leave, was that you had this great feud. Like, Jericho and Kevin Owens were at the top of their game back in the end of 2016. And it's like, that was the one match where it's like, you had build-up. You had everything. You had promos, segments, attacks, everything. That Festival of Friendship thing, beautiful. And guess what? All of Jericho's idea. And it's like, you could have had Jericho... I thought he should have won. But the fact that it was just your second match on the card, and it was boring. The match was boring.
I think what it is that the belt itself, yes, it's a victim of circumstance. I think that moment was a big definitive turn in how I think fans like us, compared to younger fans of this generation, have seen what booking, storyline, creative, and writing has changed.
Yeah.
This and this is where it's unfortunate that we get this, because everything that we've grown up in seeing, to not knowing how it works then,
Yeah.
so how we know it now, and how we kind of play with how we would book, create, and all that.
Yeah.
We're seeing what we grew up with grow with AEW. They're building stories. They're building their characters. They're building their championships. Even though no one's a tag champ yet. No one's a heavyweight champion yet. No one's a women's champion yet. But you're already building up that the Brotherhood are two of your top faces.
Jon Moxley is a sick bastard.
And he's showing the world
who he really is.
Yeah, and what we should have gotten out of his 6-year career in WWE. We're seeing your tag division slowly develop with all these guys, with the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers leading the way. Even though we're seeing, to me, I feel like the Young Bucks are eventually going to be your heel tag champs.
They seem to be more of a heel favored tag team than a face.
And we're seeing your women's division slowly build. Granted, we're still seeing it in WWE. I think the women's division is still a lot better.
It's
in
great.
WWE.
Yeah, it's great.
But it's still developing in AEW.
Yeah.
Because all I've seen is 6 women tag matches, a couple of one-on-ones, and triple threats.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot to build, but we're still seeing what we see in WWE and AEW, which is actual wrestling. Because essentially that's what brings us all as fans to liking like WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, the sport itself. Like, yeah, wrestling's fake. We know that. And we don't care. What we love is the fact that take the story out of it, take the creative out of it.
Suspend your disbelief.
You're still... You can't tell me these guys don't train their bodies to compete in wrestling. You can't tell me that the wrestling portion of it isn't there.
I dare anyone who looks down on WWE wrestlers and goes, oh, those guys aren't real athletes, take on their schedule for 2 weeks. Let's see if you survive.
No. Make it a whole month. Make it a whole month.
They wouldn't last 2
Booking,
weeks.
traveling, going sometimes literally from a couple states to another country.
Saudi Arabia.
Please leave the country already.
Money does the talking, my friend.
God. But okay. So the Universal Championship is a victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe you can revitalize it if we have Cesaro win and you give him a great title reign. Maybe. Like WWE Championship. Then again, who am I kidding? Jinder Mahal won that thing.
Here's the funny thing.
Was that an experiment or what?
Here's the funny thing about it. Think of 3-man band, and out of all three, who won it? Jinder Mahal. No one would have thought that.
Let me get your prediction. Triple threat: Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder.
Drew, in a heartbeat, and he pins Jinder Mahal. No, if he could get a double pin, I would right there. Claymore kicks the hell out of both of them. Hell, if he could find a way to do it, I know it's a drop kick at that point.
He can just put both his legs up and do it.
Yeah, but if he's able to hit them both at the same time, with each leg, and just you know what? 1, 2, 3. I'd put Drew over. I would put Drew over in a heartbeat. But yeah,
By the way,
Jinder Mahal won the belt.
By the way, Drew is tall. Did you see when he sized up
He's
against The Undertaker?
He's face to face with almost like... Technically, you're shorter, but my God, man.
He's like...
I literally... Hell, when The Undertaker was doing like the choke, like I'm about... like just seeing
that
Drew
camera
like...
work?
That was the
I thought
best.
it was over. I'm like,
The fact that I
that's it.
saw that camera angle, I'm like, that is the best thing I've ever seen happen. And just like, he's just right there like, come on, I'm gonna kick the hell out of you.
But you didn't see Roman coming in for the spear, which I think is the best part.
And that's what sold me on that match. I was like, holy shit, where the hell was Roman the whole time? Like, and they don't even show him coming in.
That's the best part.
You just catch like Drew just going like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. I would have loved to see what Finn would have been as the Universal Champion when he first won it.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Owens should have been booked with Jericho as the main event.
Yes.
Goldberg, that's when that belt was starting like, does he really need it?
It's great to put on his resume, but it's like...
Is it really? Is it really?
Like now, like it's just there, like, oh, by the way, he was Universal Champion. Cool.
It's like, that'd be like putting that on John Cena. It's like, is it really necessary? Hold. And? Now I'm like, but anyways, okay. We all know what Brock has done to that belt. Twice now.
3.
Granted, no, I don't count the third one yet because it's barely been a week.
And it
Yeah,
seems
it's
like
been-
a year.
It's only been a few days, actually. But okay, we've seen...
Can we talk about that for a second?
Okay. I mean, you are shooting.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay that he cashed in this past Sunday?
Here's the thing.
Let me tell you this. We both didn't respond to Dan's reaction on Sunday. Because he sent the text in the group, huh. And I'm assuming he finished watching.
Oh, I thought
Extreme
that was because of my comment. Because you remember, you're like, who do you want to win, Ziggler or Owens? And I wrote Zigzag, and I thought he didn't get my comment.
No. I'm assuming he did.
Okay.
But notice the time frame of that. I think that's when he had finished watching. And I'm sure he's like, huh.
Did you like the show as a whole?
Okay. Eventually, we were talking about this on an episode, all three of us, or two of us together. If I have to be honest, I think this, for the first time, was a pay-per-view that was worth watching ever since WrestleMania.
Money in the Bank?
Nah.
No?
Here's the reason why.
Maybe the ending killed it for you, huh?
Yeah. Because, okay, nobody, as soon as Brock's music hit, I was like, no. He pushed the camera guy out the way.
He killed him.
No, and he wins. It's like, this is the angle you're going with. Fine, whatever. I don't care.
What happened to New Era, New Superstars?
Wrong. However, as soon as Seth curb stomps the hell out of Baron Corbin 3 times, obviously, one for Becky, one for himself, and one to make the final definitive point.
You're wrong.
What?
Once for you.
Oh, of course.
Twice for you.
Oh, 3 times for me.
3 times for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Seth. But as soon as the pin was there, and like Seth's just like in the corner, just like, okay, I really should attend to my girlfriend right now. And as soon as I heard the music, I'm like, why am I okay right now?
Yeah.
I wasn't like, no. I literally was just like, I think this is good timing.
Yeah.
And I think that Paul Heyman killing it was worth it. Yeah, it's like he gave a spoiler away, but it kind of felt right. Like, I don't know what it is. It just literally, like, I hear the music and Seth's just like, I totally forgot about you. Like, it literally seemed like in his head, like, oh no.
Yeah, because after that End of Days, it's like he explodes because, you know, he's looking after Becky.
But he let it all out to the point where he literally forgot about Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar. And he's just like, oh shit, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And I think as I was watching it, I'm like, he's not running up there. He's not making it like that fierce point to, like, well, was he running up? I forgot.
Was Brock running down the ramp?
Yeah.
No.
No, he was calmly like, I waited. I made you wait. Yeah.
Heyman.
Yeah, but like, yeah, while Paul was selling the gimmick of like, oh, it's your time now, Brock was like, no, I played with you enough. I told you it was going to happen one day. I'm here now. And you have to face fate. And to me, it just felt right. It didn't feel wrong.
What's so funny is I thought back, I'm like, WrestleMania a few years ago, Seth cashed in on Brock. Here we are. Now Brock cashes in on Seth.
After a grueling match. Because think about it. When you see Brock and Roman at that WrestleMania,
Great match.
yeah, no,
Great match.
that I think that's still one of Brock's like top 10 best matches. But then, out of nowhere, you just hear Seth's music, and it's like he is running down that long ass ramp. And to me, it's like, you not only gave me the best match with Randy Orton, you're about to do something I am totally okay with.
The heist of the century.
Yeah, that literally is the heist of the century, and it's like, it comes full circle.
Yeah.
Like 4 years later, it's like, all right, you just had that probably the toughest match of your career right now. Now it's my turn to do to you what you did to me.
Yeah.
And I think that brings their story to true fruition, where it's like, it needed to happen. However, I don't know how I feel about Seth winning the Battle Royal.
You know my feelings.
Well, go ahead. They can hear it.
Cesaro was right there.
So was Randy.
Okay, here's the thing.
Where are we going with Randy, first of all? Because all of a sudden it's like...
He's there and then he's not.
No, it's like Samoa Joe. Obviously, he's still pissed off that he lost. Who the hell said Elias deserves a title run right now? Or a title push?
He just needs TV time.
Keep playing the guitar. Keep annoying the crowd like you do. That works.
Bring.
That works for him. And then out of nowhere, like, Randy comes out, does this promo, and I still have the 3 letters that are the most devastating in this business. RKO. And then it's like, I think I'm seeing what he's trying to do. I thought he was going to do it with Finn because of Twitter. With the Intercontinental Championship. Because remember he tweeted, maybe I want the first belt that I ever won back.
Right.
And it's like, okay, maybe I could see Randy maybe with that belt because it is a good belt to have.
Yeah.
And maybe he wants to retire. Or maybe he wants one last run with that belt.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, what are we getting out of you? Are you trying to be the Apex Predator?
Here was my assessment.
Okay.
So I'm like, not Roman, because...
I don't think Roman said it himself. He's not in it right now to be a champion. He's in it just the fact that he got a second chance at life.
At life, yeah.
Not Sammy. Although he could have,
if he was booked properly, I would say yes. I mean, he was doing essentially what Kevin Owens was doing, but a little bit toned down and towards the audience. But then that kind of fizzled out, and it's like, okay, but what are we doing now? Again,
I don't know where they're going with his
and,
direction.
And again, the second WWE has something good, they pull the plug.
Not Ray.
Yeah, Ray at this point, it's like he's just giving back to the company. Like, that's it. That's all. Cesaro. Can I take a second?
What?
Done. Braun Strowman was my number 2. I'm like,
that's your number 2?
If it's not Cesaro, after 2.5 years, put the belt on him.
Okay. Cesaro's your number 1. Braun's your number 2. Who else?
Randy was my number 3. Because
really,
talk about bringing everything full circle. What was the main event of SummerSlam 2 years ago? SummerSlam 16, 3 years ago.
Wasn't it Randy and Brock?
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. Plus, you do have the 2 guys who came up in the same
Clan.
draft class of 02. You know what? I would like to see Randy versus Brock one more time.
Well, there was a live event match.
No, that doesn't count. If it's not on a pay-per-view or on a Monday Night Raw or on a SmackDown, it technically doesn't count.
Well, then 3. Because they faced off once when Randy was like young and 02, you know.
Yeah, but Brock was already a monster.
Here comes the pain. Yeah, so I was like, I wouldn't mind if Randy gets one more shot. Maybe holds on to the title until a Mania and then drops it to someone, whoever. Maybe like a Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Or here's an idea, Cesaro.
Here we go. I think the Battle Royal.
Who else was in that match? Is that it?
I can't. I just remember Sami Zayn getting the hell kicked out of him. An RKO, 619. Like,
And by the way, like the way he was flopping around and jumping around, I'm like, stop.
like you're overselling it.
Idiot.
All right. So, this is my order. Randy Cesaro. What else was in it? Randy Cesaro, Sammy, then Seth.
Braun is not even in the conversation?
Okay, fine. You know what?
You've been advocating for this guy.
But here's my problem right now. He has one of the best rivalries with Bobby Lashley I've ever seen
great.
in a while.
Yes.
Because, my God, you have two guys that are over 6'5" with the strength of 10, running, flying, and moving
Flips and leapfrogs.
like 5'2" cruiserweights.
Yep.
It's just like, and I swear that last man standing match was amazing.
You know why? Because it wasn't in the ring.
Nope, it ended outside. It went all around like a normal, traditional last man standing match should.
See, if you just listen.
Oh, I think they are.
Yeah,
slowly.
I think they are. Someone's listening. I swear to God, someone's
Someone
listening.
in creative, or booking, or writing. Cesaro. Push Cesaro. What? The reason why I don't see Braun getting that belt yet, it just doesn't. The time's not right.
Really?
He's literally going to right place, right guy, wrong time. I don't think it's his time just yet. Last year was his time so many times.
The year before was his time.
So many times. But right now, it doesn't feel right. There's something about right now with him, it doesn't feel right. With Cesaro, okay, I'll tell you why. And then we'll have one more topic. Okay, with Cesaro, it's... I have the same feeling as you do. He's the right place, right guy. Literally right time. Like, it's
For the last 4 years!
Say your shot, then I'm okay.
I am the shot, and...
Okay, he's not okay because he wants this push for the man he advocates so much for. Okay, who did I say my second was? Randy?
Was
No.
it Sammy? You said Randy,
Randy Cesaro.
Sammy.
Okay, Sammy. Okay, Sammy because, okay, if we can get him... I think, personally, if he did the same thing Kevin Owens did, I think that's where his character truly would have been to a point where it's like, yeah, I've been annoyed, I've been frustrated, and guess what? Everything I've said to the fans, it's just me being your company guy. But I'm sick of it. I'm just as sick of the BS that I've been put through by this company. And he doesn't have to direct it to Shane. He can direct it to whoever he wants at that point.
The role should have been reversed. Sammy should have been your good guy going off on a tangent. Kevin Owens should have been your bad guy going off on a tangent.
But Kevin Owens should be the bad guy that still is the true definition of your heel.
Yeah.
Not the gimmick that Sammy makes it out to be. He should still be like, hey, I'm unhappy with this company. Blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever, you know? So with Sammy, it's like, okay. He's been there and injury. Comes back and injury. It's his time and injury. It's like, what does the guy have to do? Like, literally, what more does he need to do?
Go to AEW?
I mean, he mentioned it on the electric chair, which we only saw once. I swear that would have been Corey Graves' best gimmick. Because, okay, I haven't seen in-ring interviews for a long time.
Yeah.
Other than lately for the women's division.
Right.
Okay. And then I said Seth.
Yes.
So, don't get me wrong. I still love Seth. I think we're starting to get the Seth and Brock thing, kind of like Roman and Brock.
Like it's becoming...
slowly starting to become like the thing that we need to see, quote unquote, but we don't want anymore.
If they have a legit fight this time, I wouldn't mind.
Legit in what sense?
Because think about it, Mania was
That's how you open the show.
Well, it was a pre-match attack, and then when the bell rung, it was low blow with 3 curb stomps, and the match is over. But it's like, if you think about it, every time Brock he's forced into having a match with an AJ or a Daniel, he puts on great matches. As opposed to F5, curb stomp, F5, German suplex, curb stomp. You know, it becomes like a 2K19 match at that point.
But that's my thing. It's like, again, it's quote unquote what they think we want to see. But if it's not over 5 minutes, I don't want to see it. If it's less than 5 minutes, I'm gonna be like, I'm over this. Either bury Seth, which I don't want,
Yeah.
or give Seth the goddamn title back, and then I'm actually start facing other people.
But see, my concern there is if you took the title off of Seth just to put it back on him again a month later, does it mean anything?
We've already talked about how irrelevant this belt has become because of it.
And see, that's where it is. See, like they book themselves into a corner, and they're like, why does nobody care?
Because you don't have someone running with that belt longer than a year, or at least like a good year. My issue, and then we'll jump into the last thing, is from WrestleMania till Extreme Rules, who has Seth really faced? Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar. That's it. Who else has he faced? Like, who did he face at Money in the Bank? Or didn't he even defend it? And see, it's that unmemorable.
I think it was Corbin. No?
Let's see.
No, it was AJ. Great match. Great match with AJ.
Okay.
Great match.
Alright, fine. Brock, AJ,
Baron.
Baron, twice. No, three times. And it came back to Brock. It's like... What? Like, really? And now it's like, oh, you just won a battle royal to face Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
Think about it. It's a really tough double-edged sword, because if Brock retains that
No one's
title,
happy.
if Seth wins,
Like, people are happy, but at the same time, it's like,
you just lost.
what was the point of you losing it?
Yeah.
Like, I think someone said it. I think in one of the Instagram pages I follow. What was the point of you winning the Battle Royal? Where's your rematch clause?
Now, if Cesaro won,
That is how it goes full circle with that one. The last thing that kind of, like, really has me right now is Becky's run. So, we're still unhappy.
did you see that shot of Lacey Evans?
Oh, I think they did that on purpose.
Hmm.
Of course. Alright. Ever since Becky's run, someone had to insert themselves in again. Who got called out in the town hall meeting?
Oh, Charlotte?
Yeah. She had to insert herself after WrestleMania. And she had to face Lacey Evans.
I wouldn't mind if Becky had a couple pay-per-views back-to-back where she was defending both titles in one night. Like, back-to-back matches.
But we didn't get that. We only got it on one
we
pay-per-view.
only got it once. When it was interesting, and then...
That sucks.
But here's the thing. No one is more deserving than Bayley right now to have that title. I can actually appreciate her run and her character work. Because it's still Bayley, but it's, like, more serious. Like, what they did on SmackDown, where she's like, Someone, I want to challenge someone for this. Someone who's deserving. Someone who I haven't faced before. Amber Moon's right there.
Someone deserving.
For 2 years.
Okay, so here's my thing about Becky.
Dexter.
She got rid of the raccoon for a while. Sent her on vacation. She finally got rid of Charlotte for a while. For now. And then all we've seen is her and Lacey.
Bless you, Lacey, but you need more work.
I think Lacey needs a vacay. Because honestly, I would have loved to see Becky versus Bayley.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Becky versus Naomi.
Yeah.
Hell, Becky versus Carmella.
Yeah.
But we're getting Becky versus Nat.
I don't know how to feel.
Well, okay. The promo was so cringe
On Becky or Natty?
on both. Oh, I'm good at love, but I'm better at war. I'm just like, what?
I think it's one of those lines where, like, when a superstar says it, they like it's supposed to pop the crowd, but it doesn't.
I think it was just bad script writing. That's what it was to me. And it's like, okay. But then when you hear Natty, I'm gonna wipe the floor with that orange mop, I'm like, ugh. Yeah.
Remember, they all live happily ever after. No, not really.
No. Anyways. But it's just like, and I get where Becky came, like, where she's telling her,
Yeah.
you've needed it for a while now. You've needed something. And I'm that it. But to me, it's like, okay, I personally think you deserve better. Becky. I don't think Natty deserves it. Granted, she earned it.
Natty's a great wrestler,
Yeah. Oh, I'll never take that away from her.
but
She ran out of her it factor years ago. I can tell you when.
go ahead.
2017.
Really?
I think that was her high point. What? You want to tell me otherwise?
I just bless you, Natty. I love you, but I just feel like you never got there.
Oh, that's worse than me.
I mean,
Okay, how far has Natty come?
far.
Yeah. But I just think her... Well, no, go ahead.
I guess I'm taking a survey here.
There you go.
Tell me a year, a time, an era where you felt like Natty is ready. We need to get on the Natty bandwagon right now.
I can't.
Do you see my point?
You're right. That's sad, though. Ugh.
I feel like I just broke your world.
No, you didn't break it. You just brought in reality of things. But that's where you make my point relevant. Becky deserves better.
Natty does as well, but is it a point where we say you missed the window?
Well,
I don't know. Maybe next time this year, Natty could be the most relevant women's wrestler on the roster. I don't know. Look what happened with Becky. Last year at this time, no one was even talking about her. And now here we are.
No, but the thing, no. People were talking about her. People are like, no, you've been deserving
No,
of
you're
something.
right. You're right.
But the thing is, we want to see who you really can be. Come on, what were we doing at SummerSlam last year?
What was
Heel
I doing?
turn. Heel turn. How many times did we say throughout the match, heel turn?
I remember at the end of that match when like literally like the second one that ends and they're both standing up. I'm like, Becky hit her.
You
Becky
even
hit
said
her.
it. If she doesn't hit her, Becky's done.
I'm like, Becky, don't turn around. No, don't hug her. No, Becky, no. Oh shit, she actually hit her.
Yeah, everyone was like,
And I was like, hit her harder.
no, and everyone was like, literally like the crowd. Holy shit. Holy shit. It's just like,
you deserve it.
and we did that. But everyone, other than us, for a while now, has been like, this is what we needed out of Becky Lynch.
I think, if I can go back, Money in the Bank 2017 for me was that point where I thought Becky Lynch needed to win, but then you have him come into the match and win it for Carmella. Which by the way,
It ruined what push for the women's division you needed to start then.
and by the way, it gets totally blacked out now. Like, they don't even acknowledge it.
They only acknowledge it as, oh, she's the first 2-time winner.
Yeah. Who
But they
won it
never-
the first time?
They never say the first one. They just say it's a 2-time, only acknowledging the second one, though.
Who's the first man? So yeah, and I remember Becky did a promo where she's like, I don't get it. You know, you have people out there who have help, who have, you know, tag teams or, you know, partners that come and win the matches for them. Maybe I should get that. Maybe I should do that. And you can tell, you're like, yeah, you're doing a promo, but you're frustrated.
shooting.
Genuinely. Like, you tell us how you really feel. And I think that's where slowly I'm like, this poor
Light the
thing.
bomb. Light the pipe bomb. Go ahead.
Where's
And-
Kane when you need him?
And then you're literally looking at Becky like, turn. It's in your best interest to turn right now. But you're waiting and waiting. It's like, no, she still wants to play fair. She still wants to be a
The
little.
last kicker.
She still wants, yeah. And it's just like, no, there's a fire in there.
Straight fire?
Sure, but there's a fire in there.
And we're gonna burn it down.
Dear God, really? But it's the whole time you're just like, come on, come on, come on, and then SummerSlam, it's like, okay, Carmella, Charlotte, and Becky, and it's like, fine, I guess Charlotte can win. It's time.
It's Vader time.
You need to pull the trigger, or no one's gonna think anything better of you anymore. And I swear, I saw you staring at Kevin's TV like, do it now.
Well, you gotta remember,
Hit her.
that
Hit her.
SummerSlam card,
See,
for me, sucked.
oh yeah, you still advocate that's the worst SummerSlam ever, but
But at that point, like, I told you,
that was
like,
your highlight.
I was like, Becky, don't leave, no.
You're just literally there, like, come on. And Dan and Kevin were just like, nah, whatever, it's not gonna. I'm just there, like,
Because you were cheering for Charlotte, right?
I was, but at the same time, it's like, if Charlotte wins, Becky needed a turn.
Yeah.
That's what I said. And I was literally like, you need to do it.
Photo raw.
You just need to turn. Like, just hit her. It's not gonna. Oh, she hit her. She's doing it. She's doing it. And, she's
doing it. She's doing it.
She beat the shit out of her.
But the whole time I'm like, Becky, hit her harder.
And I'm just like, oh my God. Once it was over, I'm like, I'm okay with this. Like, it was so violent, but I'm okay with it. Now I just think Charlotte's annoying as shit.
She's the new John Cena as far as I'm concerned. Can we talk about that for a second?
Sure.
I think now all three of us have a thing for Liv Morgan. Well, okay, let's give some backstory to the viewers. So, a while back, Commission and myself, when the draft was going on, Liv Morgan, for an inexplicable reason, gets moved to SmackDown
On her own.
while Ruby and Sarah are still on Raw. And it's like, that makes absolutely no sense. But then again, what does now? And I think Liv was kind of teasing it, like she was kind of advocating for herself, because remember those wanted posters that she was putting up, or how she would put up stuff on Instagram like, get ready, something's coming.
SmackDown Live.
Yeah. And I think that Dan especially kind of jumped on that bandwagon of, okay, cool, let's go. But then it seems like the weeks went by, the months went by, the pay-per-views went by.
Where's Liv Morgan?
Where's Liv? And all of a sudden, last night, in that town hall meeting, Liv Morgan says one thing, but it's all you need. I think if she went on for 5 minutes, it would not have that same effect where she said to Charlotte, people like you are the reason why people like me are not where they need to be. And we had the match, and
don't get me wrong, she was on good momentum. She really was. Like, every move she was hitting before throwing herself into the powerbomb, I was like, this is really going to happen. It might actually... No, there's the powerbomb. And there's the figure eight.
But then, what did she do after the match?
Granted, she cried and she was upset.
She walks over to your least favorite commentator, slaps the headphones right off his head.
She yanked them off his head.
Yeah. And picks it up and goes, Charlotte was right. Next time when I come back, you're going to see the real me.
And I think that's what Liv Morgan's needed. Or at least it's another step up for the women's division, because it's like, all right, Bayley did it. Becky did it. Your girl, Alexa, did it.
Lexi.
Nia did it. Every woman in the current...
Wow, you actually called her Nia.
I'm trying not to curse.
Well, no, I thought you were going to call her 2 torn ACLs.
She's healing. I feel bad for people who tear their ACLs, though.
I've said it before. If she comes back...
2 tear. Yeah, no, she has to be less blah, 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 blah. Zip.
And more...
Kick ass.
Yes.
But each woman in the current roster within the last couple of years has proven why the women's roster in WWE has become what it is. And if it's not on their own that they've done it, the right person has advocated for the next person. Yeah. Hell, I think it was last year's the weird odd moment when you see Mr. McMahon bring out Naomi. It was on a SmackDown episode.
And what happened?
No, he introduced her out. Like he said something about how the women's division needs something lively, something fresh, something new, and he introduces us Naomi. I thought, oh, he's gonna bring out Charlotte, or he's gonna bring out someone typical, and then he brings out Naomi. I'm like, huh? The old man is on it.
I'm gonna be honest. Naomi has been a dark horse in that women's division. She, granted, yes, she's had 1 or 2 title runs which were cut short due to injury. But I honestly, I was cheering for Naomi this past Monday. I'm like, I wouldn't mind a Naomi versus Becky Lynch, but please, for the love of God, tone down that whole glow thing. Like I've said this before, if Becky comes out and goes, I'm gonna beat you because I'm the man. The man has something to say. I'm the best because I'm the man. Or if Naomi comes out, this Sunday you're gonna feel the glow. You know why I'm gonna beat you? Because you're gonna feel the glow. You know why I'm so much better than you? Because...
Well, maybe that's why they pulled the trigger on Nat.
Yeah, but they pulled the trigger on Nat 2 years ago against Naomi, and...
Yeah, exactly. But I think this, again, it's still like it would have been the same thing with Becky and Naomi. But this is the point I was trying to make. It's like you're getting these women who are trying to push themselves to be the next better of themselves, or they're getting advocated by their fellow counterpart to be the next best thing, right? So when Liv did that, to me it's like, all right, you're tired of being the one member of the Riot Squad who's like, yeah, you're cute.
She was always made to be the ass of the group.
Yeah.
She's quickest eliminated, quickest to tap out.
Just tap. Don't say the who, just say the tap.
Yeah.
Like the weak link.
Right.
Granted, you had your muscle with Sarah.
And your
mind with Ruby. And I guess that's why that dynamic trio, or that dynamic of the trio worked. But I think this is what Liv needed, a wake-up call. To be like, I'm not going to be the same person everyone's seen me to be. I'm not the little kid. I'm not the joke. I'm not the little girl who thinks she's playing with women. I'm gonna come back, and I'm hoping that this is like a push we're getting for Liv finally on SmackDown, because honestly, she's done something for me where it's like, I've always seen her as someone who has the potential, and I will give her the chance. With Sarah, it's like, okay, I think you could be just as powerful and dominant, kind of like Sonya.
Yeah.
Hell, if I were to see those two ever team up and just be a brute dominant tag force, like muscle with muscle, and have those irrelevant belts that have become a joke, I would be like, all right, I buy in as them being the tag champs. And with Ruby, I've always said it. She needed to have a title run, but that stupid fucking raccoon had to ruin it. And then it's like, okay, you bury her so bad on the pay-per-view, but yet you give her the match she should have had on the pay-per-view on Raw. Like,
right?
Really?
They did that, huh?
I was so pissed. I'm like, really? Like, come on, man.
Well, I've always said that the right women's wrestler, or even, from the guys, needs to have the right momentum and the right push. There was an idea that Dan brought up, which I would love to see. The whole idea about Mandy Rose becoming Heavy Machinery's manager. I also got another one for you. What if Sarah Logan, for the time being, becomes the manager of, what are they called now? The Viking Raiders?
Sure. I'm sorry. I don't care if they get mad. Us in the universe agrees. They're the War Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, screw it. You're the War Raiders.
That's what you are to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen Raw. Every match they have, and granted it's been with the same jobbers.
Yeah.
They're a good tag team.
They're agile for their size.
Hell yeah.
Springboard attack? Are you kidding me?
But if you see Sarah Logan managing them, it makes sense.
I would see it as a Hardy Boys type of thing, because Sarah to me is always one of those people where she's not afraid to mix it up with the guys. So I'm like, if the referee has his back turned, Sarah could be like Alita, where she like doesn't
if they need the additional edge to the match.
Yeah.
Edge Alita.
Edge. Get it? Extra. Oh, you said edge. I thought you said extra age, like Hardy age.
Let's move on. And then, what do you do with Ruby? What? Oh god, that was
real life. Vince wanted them to be naked. Okay, let's move on. What do you do with Ruby?
Yeah, what would you do?
You don't gotta build up Ruby. Ruby is great. You just gotta push her.
Why doesn't Ruby get a push?
Because booking sucks.
Clearly. I think you should call it on that.
Okay, let me bring it full circle. Ask you one question. Triple threat match: Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan.
They're all revamped?
No.
Right now?
It's right now.
Ruby.
Interesting.
But Ruby has to pin Sarah.
Why Sarah?
It's too easy of a match so she pins Liv.
I didn't see that's the problem.
Or, if I wasn't advocating for Ruby, Liv can pin either one.
Okay.
But it makes a statement if she pins Sarah. It makes it makes more of a statement if she pins Ruby.
Yeah.
Because she's not only beating someone just as tough as Sarah, she's outranking the leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would put Liv Morgan over all three. Or both of them. What about you?
I'm probably there with you. At this point, I would probably give Liv the win just to start building her momentum. And then, yeah, you could just go from there. Have Sarah be the manager for War Raiders. And Ruby just, heck, put her, I don't know, on Raw or SmackDown or anything and just let her have matches. She's great. She's awesome.
Just have her run crazy.
What happened?
Like, have her run crazy. Not like psycho crazy, but just like any match she gets in, she's dominant.
I propose to you guys that after Becky won both titles at Mania, you can start building Ruby and Becky by having the Riot Squad continuously attack Becky.
Would have made sense.
And kind of have it be an angle where Ruby goes, until I get something from you, I'm not, like, this is not going to stop. You could have even put the SmackDown title on Ruby. And then had Bayley still would be Mrs. Money in the Bank, but then cash in
way later.
Yeah.
I would have liked that, to see Ruby just be like, you know what? All three of us are tired of what has been going on with us. We're not a joke here. There's a reason why we're called the Riot Squad.
With an extra T.
We're here to riot. If you don't like it, stop us. Otherwise, this mayhem's never going to stop until we get what we want. Oh, if only someone is listening. If someone in the WWE is listening.
Let's just see if we'll live to see it.
Yeah, I got
Get it? Because, like, Liv, and then, like, Liv Morgan, the name, but you drop the E, but...
You might get it. I think this is time to end it.
It's time.
It's time.
It's Vader time.